I want you to think about that, about the different things, the different traumas you may be carrying around in a bag over your shoulder your entire life. How dusty and rusty that bag is by now because you've been carrying it around. Okay, what have you been carrying around that you could easily get rid of as soon as you make the choice to get rid of it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mystic Temple Spirituality for a New Age. I'm Monica Bay, also known as the Divine Mother, and I am here to bring you truth always. So, before we get started today, I want to make a very quick, exciting announcement that starting next month, we are going to be doing open circles every month in the Facebook group. So, if you want to be a part of these open circles, you want to definitely join the Facebook group. You can find the link at mystictemple.org. You definitely want to join that Facebook group. It is a private group, so you have to actually answer the questions. There's not a lot of questions, but if you don't answer the questions, you won't get approved because that tells us you're not serious, and we only want serious people up in here, okay? So let me tell you about what these open circles are. So the open circle is going to be once a month. I'm going to go live in the Facebook group, and it's going to give a chance for everyone to have a discussion around different topics of the Book of Rasheeda, different things that can be applicable to your actual personal lives and really start to actually use this knowledge, because I always say knowledge without application is pointless. So we want to make sure we're applying the knowledge that we're receiving in the Book of Rasheeda, and also making sure that we're diving even deeper into that. So if you have any questions or things like that, they can easily be answered in these open circles. So this is a chance to really be a part of a beautiful community of like-minded people and also learn and grow together at the same time. And that's what Mystic Temple is all about. So I'm excited to announce that. So that's going to be every second Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, going live in the Mystic Temple Facebook group. So definitely join, and I will see you there. All right, let's get into the actual divinity session today. So today is divinity session number 6. Okay, we are actually still on the first date of the passages that were received. We are still on November 2nd, 2015. This is the actual last passage in that section. And of course, because all of this was received that same day, multiple trance sessions that same day, it kind of sticks to a very similar theme. So we're going to go deeper though. Every as we move along, we get deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole. Okay, I hope you guys are ready. All right, so let's get started. So now I'm going to read from the passage for today from the Book of Rasheeda, and it is as follows. Cast away the joys of ill. Be not what you abhor. Go forth in peace and walk the light path. This is where you belong, your destiny. But it's the peace that makes the land folly as it does in darkness. Duality is key. Balance within and without. You cannot have one without the other. Both must coexist in this world, yet must be tempered. And of course, this is talking again about duality, which we've talked about in previous sessions, but in this particular passage, it takes it a level deeper. It talks about why duality is important. Why is it important in our lives? Why do we care to be balanced? Why can't we go all the way over here or all the way over there? Why don't we do that? Duality is key. So let's break that down. Cast away the joys of ill. Be not what you abhor. The joys of ill, what they're referring to is our temporary harmful pleasures that we take part in, or behaviors that we take part in, that end up leading us negative consequences. How many of you have, and I'm sure many of you at home, I'm sure all of you at home can relate to this, have been doing things in your life that you know are not going to lead you to the life that you want? You're making choices. We talked about choices before too. This is sticking with that theme. The choices that you make dictate your future, they dictate your reality. The choices that you made in the past dictate your current reality. So, what choices are you making? What are you doing? What behaviors are you doing? What pleasures are you taking part of that are actually not good for you? Where we're just thinking short term, the joys of ill, right? Thinking very, very short term. Well, this is pleasurable right now. I know it's going to lead me to something bad in the future, but I'm just going to enjoy it right now. keeping that discernment, keeping that discernment. So in everything that you do, you should be choosing paths that are in alignment with your health, with your well-being, with your spiritual growth, and not choosing paths that lead you away from your higher purpose, your higher self, your um, your life path. And this is what many of you do all the time is you're choosing paths that lead you away from that. And then you wonder why one day you wake up lost. One day you wake up not knowing who you are, not feeling grounded, not knowing where you're moving forward in the future, feeling confused, feeling lost. Let me explain what lost is. Anytime you're feeling lost, is a disconnection from yourself. Period. Period. Because if you are connected to your higher self, you are connected to your spirit, if you are connected to your soul, there is no being lost because all the knowledge is in here. What is being lost? Lost is being without knowledge, without guidance, without a direction, right? Or knowing how to get into a particular direction. All the answers are in here. So anytime you feel lost in life, that should tell you right away you have a disconnection issue. You are disconnected to your higher self and all of that going inside. Your spirit guides, all of those things. You are disconnected. So the joys of ill, the pleasures that don't lead us to happy things, that don't lead us to powerful places in our life, these are things that you need to cast away. Cast away the joys of ill. When you do this, life becomes magical. Life becomes prosperous. Life becomes happier. Now, I've said before, can we completely have happiness 100% of the time, all the time? No. That doesn't really exist, not in the human experience, okay? You will have times where there are highs and lows, okay? But you can be generally happy 99% of the time. And this also brings the point that you need to make sure that you are in alignment with your actual principles and values. What are your values? What do you value in this world? What do you value in your life? Those things should be priorities, whatever you value, and you should be living according to those values and principles that you set yourself. All of us have inner morality, personal inner morality, personal inner values and priorities and things like that. You should be living according to yours, not other people's. You should be living according to yours. And what are yours? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Most people haven't. You should ask yourself these things, write them down, and actually make sure that you are taking actions and living a life that is in alignment with those actions. Because if they're not, those are the joys of ill. Those are the joys of ill. If something does not fit into your values and your principles that you live your life by and that you really are passionate about, if things are leading against that, you're going to have disharmony. You're going to have disharmony inside. Disease, that's what that is, dis-ease. Okay, everything starts with energy, and these are energies inside of you. But on the contrary, what happens when you are actually living in alignment with these things? What happens when you are living in alignment with your goals, with your passions, with your soul's calling, with your purpose, with your principles, with your morals? What happens when you are living in alignment with that, when you are actually doing actions that match those things? What you get is harmony. What you get is balance. What you get is Zor Kumti. That's what you get. And who doesn't want to live a life like that? Who doesn't want to live a life that has more peace than chaos? What is the opposite of peace? Chaos. So what happens when you are not living in a path of peace? And we're going to get into that in the next sentence. But what happens when you're not living in a path of peace? You're living in a path of chaos. That's the opposite, or somewhere in between. It doesn't have to be complete chaos, but the more you come away from peace, the more chaotic it becomes, right? There's a scale here, there's a measurement, and it's a spectrum. Peace, chaos, opposite ends, okay? And anywhere in between, you want to be more towards the peace versus the chaos. And these are things that you have to really focus on internally and outwardly as well into your life. And the book of Rasheeda says balance is key within and without. So we're talking about inner balance, inner harmony, and we're also talking about harmony in our lives. So what this passage is really talking about is mirroring our inner with our outer, making sure that things are in alignment so that as we move down our path, it makes sense. It feels good. It is actually pushing us forward, not taking us behind or ending us up on a hamster wheel, All right. We don't like hamster wheels. Many of you are on one, but we don't like it. Right? So this is really a guide how to get off those hamster wheels, how to actually move forward in life in peace and harmony and happiness, okay? With less human suffering. And in the next sentence, we're going to break down each sentence. In the next sentence where it says go forth in peace and walk the light path, this is where you belong, your destiny. What this is referring to is keeping your life on the light path towards peace. We talked about that spectrum, okay? There's the chaos and there's the peace. We want to be in the peace, okay? So your life should be towards that. Your life should be as much in peace as possible. Walking the light path. Now, does that mean that something doesn't come in and interrupt your peace? No, because that's a part of the human experience. But we should all the time be working towards peace, peace, peace. I'm going to say it again, peace. That's what you should be working towards in your life, in everything, in every aspect of your life. And walking the light path, what does that mean? That's really referring to spiritual growth, spiritual power, um, really walking your purpose, walking in your purpose, actually letting your soul in that driver's seat and not in the trunk, okay? Letting your soul in that driver's seat. So walking the light path is really spiritual growth and focusing on spiritual awakening, compassion, and enlightenment. And it's also when it says this is where you belong, it's also saying that this is your journey, this is your path, this is the path you're supposed to be on, this is the path you are meant to be on. We are not meant to be in the chaos. The chaos is there, okay? This is an intricate game that this universe plays on us here on this earth, okay, in this human experience. The chaos is there more as challenge, more as pushing to grow, as we talked about in a few sessions ago about limiting human suffering, right? It's there to allow us to smack you in the face and help you push you towards the path you're supposed to go in. And the chaos that comes into our experience is there to help push us forward, is there as a tool. Okay, but that is not the energy we are supposed to remain in. That is not the energy we are supposed to be in. That is the test. That is the test. Okay, things come into our path and we are tested every time. Do we have choices every time we experience something negative? Do we choose to go towards negativity or do we choose to go towards positivity? Or we have a third choice, we could stay neutral. Usually we go either one or the other. Okay? And a lot of times you go towards the negativity. We go towards the victim mode. We go towards the trauma mode and carrying that forward into our future, letting that control us, letting that run our entire lives, okay? Instead of taking the positive path, which is, okay, this just happened. And yes, it may have been traumatic in the moment. Let me heal from that and let me move forward to see how I can make sure that everything in my life going forward is not going to be affected by this one thing that just happened. I want you to think about that, about the different things, the different traumas you may be carrying around in a bag over your shoulder your entire life. How dusty and rusty that bag is by now because you've been carrying it around. Okay, what have you been carrying around that you could easily get rid of as soon as you make the choice to get rid of it and not allow it to destroy your life, not allow it to control your life? Now, I'm a hypnotist. Most of you know that. So I am very, very well versed in the subconscious mind. And I understand fully how these types of traumas and these limiting beliefs about whether or not you can heal from those traumas. Like, oh, this is just a trauma. Oh, I was triggered. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And you carry that forward on your path, not allowing yourself to come to the realization, come to the truth that you don't have to carry these bags anymore. You can actually drop them. You could actually drop the bag and you'll be better without the bag moving forward into your future. So pay attention to that. I want you to think about that. Walking the light path. Walking the light path is moving forward in that positive choice, in the positive choice, not the negative choice. Your choices dictate your future and your reality. So are you going to live in a reality where you're a victim? Are you going to live in a reality where you're angry and upset at everyone, where the world is against you? Or are you going to live in a reality where you are healed, whole, pushing forward, and you are on your, you know what? Which choice do you want to make in your life? Because that will dictate the reality that you live in. Walk the light path. But, but there's a caveat here in this passage. And I love this passage for this caveat because I always tell you guys, don't take something and take it all the way over here, all the way over here. This passage is clearly stating that. I'm going to read it on my phone because, we're 2024, okay? So it says, here it is. Okay, it says, but it's the peace that makes the land folly as it does in darkness. Ooh, that's deep. I'm gonna break that down for you guys. Okay, it's the peace that makes the land folly. What does that mean? What is folly? First of all, folly is foolishness. Folly is naivete. Folly is stupidity. Why would peace make the land folly? The land is representing the people, the earth, everyone here incarnated on earth. So it's saying it's the peace that makes the land folly as it does in darkness. So what this is saying is that peace, too much peace, is just as bad as too much darkness, okay? And let me explain why. When you are in peace, right? We want to be in peace. Like I said, we're in this spectrum, and when we want to be all the way over here where peace is, okay? When we are in peace, everything is great. We are nice. We are comfortable when we are in peace. When we start to move down this spectrum and go into a little bit of chaos, we become uncomfortable. What does discomfort create? It creates change. It creates at least the motivation for change. Whether you choose to change or not is up to you. You can stay in that discomfort, or you can take that, again, walking the light path is choosing the lighter side of those choices, not staying in the chaos, but choosing to move out of the chaos, which creates change, which creates growth. You cannot have growth in your life without change. It has to happen. Change has to happen. So, what this passage is clearly stating is that peace, too much peace, is just as toxic as too much darkness. And this is why it says duality is key. Duality is key. When you are in too much peace, you become complacent. You become comfortable. You don't grow. You don't grow. There's no challenge. If you don't have any challenge in life, remember, challenge begets or creates change. Challenge creates and gives the opportunity for growth. So if you are not listening, as we talked about in the previous passage, where you can kind of circumvent some of the chaos, and you're just sitting in peace all the time, you will not have challenges, and therefore you will not grow in certain ways. And so again, too much peace, complacency. When you are complacent, you're not moving. You're just standing still, and you're not going to grow that way. You're not going to move forward in your life if you just sit down and not move. If you think about that, how are we moving forward if we're sitting down, not moving? Okay, we have to move. We have to have things happen. We have to engage in our human experience. And this is why it is explaining why, because I think the collective consciousness that is writing this understands that as human beings, we need to understand the why. We need to know, okay, yes, we want duality. That sounds nice, but why, right? This is why. This is why. Because it is part of this intricate web of creation in this human existence and this human experience. And we are all part of that intricate web of creation. And if we are not in it, but we choose to stand outside of it, then we are not actually moving along in the web. We are not moving along in the labyrinth of life. Okay? It is a labyrinth, and it's a crazy labyrinth, but we like it. If we choose the light path, if we choose the light path. So, what I want you to walk away with today is the notion, first of all, stop doing things you know you're not supposed to be doing, because you guys already know what you're not supposed to be doing. You know what doesn't make you feel good. Stop doing those things because they are not in alignment with your path. They are not in alignment with your principles. They are not in alignment with your values, and they are not in alignment with your peace. And walk the light path, choosing the lighter side of those choices that you have to make in life. Life is experience. We are here to experience the human experience, period. And we are here to grow from experiencing that experience. So you must be present and engage, like we talked about last divinity session. You must be present and be engaged in your actual experience. And make sure that you're applying the duality, understanding. See, the understanding of this kind of dark and light dichotomy that we have going on in our world and inside of us. Understanding the dynamics of that, which we've explained throughout the past several sessions, really understanding the dynamics of that allows you to have a different mindset, allows you to really have a different perspective on life, to understand that these things that are going on are not happening to you, they are happening as a part of your experience. They're happening there, they are there as a tool to help you grow. Okay, so these are the things that are going on in your life. So when you start to see things in those perspectives, then you can start to change the way that you move through life. You can start to change the way you react to situations, choosing the lighter path instead of the darker path. But making sure that you keep duality. We're not trying to, and the importance of the duality, especially on the dark side. Dark meaning, and I'm using that term just to refer to the experiences that we don't enjoy. Okay, um, but you know, the importance of that duality of that darkness is not running away from every problem that you have, not running away from the experience of grief, of of um, of sadness and things like that. We do want to actually have more happiness than sadness in our life, and we do have the ability to shift ourselves out of those negative emotions and put ourselves in more positive emotions. But those times and those experiences are just as important as the other experiences. So, what I want you to walk away with is that mindset, that new perspective of life being dual, and making sure that you're not only focusing on the light, but you're also focusing on the darkness to see what lessons are left for you in the dark. What lessons are there for you that you can then choose to use to move forward? This is your life. This is your path. Only you can live it. So I need you to live your life. I need you to start making the right choices in your life. Stop doing things that don't matter. Stop doing things that don't lead you to where you want to go and the happiness that you deserve to have in this life. And stop carrying those bags with you everywhere. Stop carrying your traumas and your dramas with you everywhere. Leave them. It's time for you to move forward. Your past does not dictate your future. Understand that. Your past never dictates your future unless you allow it to or unless you want it to. You can create a new you right now in this moment. Guess what? Every moment of every day is a new moment to be a new you, is an opportunity for a rebirth. And in fact, our physical bodies are being rebirthed every day. Our cells actually change and die and make new ones every day. We are technically a new person all the time. Okay? I want you to embody that spiritually. I want you to embody that in your physical reality. I want you to really embody that and take the time to pay attention to those things. And when you notice that you're making a choice, because here's the thing, I'm going to go back to the choices for a second because here's the thing. Every time you are making, I know it happens with me, and I know it happens to most of you, if not all of you. Every time you're making a choice that is not in alignment with your spirit, not in alignment with your uh, life path, not in alignment with your goals and values, you feel a little something on your shoulder, a little something inside, a little voice telling you, don't do this. Don't do this. But then your conscious mind says, I'm going to push that to the side. I'm going to do it anyway for instant gratification or whatever it is, these guilty pleasures, these joys of ill, right? And then you will regret it later. So this passage is clearly telling you, cut it before it even begins, right? As soon as you start to feel that, you know that this is not in alignment, stop. And it doesn't matter what's on the table. It doesn't matter who is going to not like you after that. It doesn't matter what other people are going to think. You have to be in alignment with your calling, with your path, with your soul. And that's it. You live for you. You don't live for other people. That's not what you're here for. You're not here for other people. You are here on your own journey. This is your lifetime. This is your life path. No one lives it but you. And you can decide how you are going to live it. So, again, I really want you to take all of that and really embody it fully within yourself. And with that, we are going to get started with speaking power, love, joy, and all of that into you right now. Okay. Eshishente heblo atahosa rezna. Eshishente heblo atahosa rezna. Eshishente heblo. Eshishente heblo. Ishnate heblo. Ishnate heblo atahosa rezna. Atahota ki. Atahobla pikosa. Atahosa rezna. 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 Rezna terezna. 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 Eshishente heblo atahosa rezna. Atahosa rezna. Atahosa rezna. Atahosa ki. Atahosa shishen. Atahosa ishna. Eshna popo eshna sha. Eshna popo eshna sha. Eshna popo eshna sha. And now I'm going to end with the divine prayer, which essentially means peace be unto you. Zor kumti. And I'll see you next time. Also, if you would like to learn more about Mystic Temple, what we're all about, what we're teaching, and you also want to see a copy of the Book of Rasheeda, you can find that at mystictemple.org.
Oh, from deep within, I find my guiding light. A connection so divine, reaching heights I feel so aligned. Oh yeah, my soul awakens in harmony it sings. A symphony of truth, where my spirit takes its wings. I feel so alive with my higher self, dancing with the universe, where love is always there. I'm soaring higher, my spirit's free to extend. In this cosmic dance, I find my truest land. It feels so good, I found my light, a spark ignite from deep inside. My soul awakened, I'm feeling alive. Guided by starlight, I now thrive. I feel so alive.